Welcome back. This is the post-game show presented by the Maroon Club. Every gift matters every year. Join the Maroon Club today. And our Coca-Cola player of the game. Experience the Coke side of life. Dan Mowdy is with the head coach, Fran O'Hanlon. Here's Dan.
All right, thanks a lot, Gary. Tough battle here today. Burrell and Beans, that might give you some nightmares tonight with the way they were able to hit threes. But luckily, Holy Cross's three-point shooting percentage was about half of what it was against American one game ago.
That was one of our into this game, that we had to do a better job than what happened last game, you know, because they were 13 for 21. So we were really up on their threes. I mean, maybe not on Beans and Burrell as much as we should have. But I thought defensively our effort was there from the start. Our offense hit a snag midway through the first half, and we got back on track again, and it was a good win. I mean, this is a very good basketball team, and we needed to play well.
Bryce Scott got his second straight start, 4 of this season so far, his second one here at Kirby, and you really needed to rely on him a little more than maybe you anticipated with Joey Tazinski going out with an eye injury, but able to come back.
Yeah, well, Bryce is really, he sets a tone for us. He does a great job defensively, brings so much energy to the team. You know, he plays with so much heart. So, yeah, and we know Joey Tazinski's a terrific player. I mean, he's going to play 25, 30 minutes every game. And unfortunately, we had Bryce in there when Joey did get hurt.
Good outing here tonight. And Lehigh in Bethlehem on this weekend. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect on Sunday.
Well, Lehigh's the league champs, and they just went out to Bucknell and beat Bucknell. I mean, they're as good as they're the best team right now in the league, and so it's you know, they have probably 3, maybe 4 of the better players in the league. You know, you have Mackie McKnight and Griner and certainly Gabe Knudsen. I mean, they're terrific. So we're going to have to play as well as we can to just compete with them.
All right, Fran, congratulations on closing out a tough Crusaders team here tonight.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, let's turn to Bryce Scott, our Coca-Cola player of the game. And Bryce, your forte on this team, free throw shooting. You have the highest percentage, but today you showed us that you have game, especially when the clock is running.
Yeah, I've been struggling lately, so I'm putting a little more extra time in the gym and kind of found my stroke a little bit. My teammates got me a lot of open looks, and you know, teammates, we executed really well, and we found the open men tonight.
Some excellent numbers here today. 6 of 13 from the field, and at one time that was 5 of 10 coming down the stretch. 3 of 7 from the arc, and that was once 3 of 6 at some point here tonight. 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 16 points, a pretty well-rounded contest. This will be your first experience against that team on the other side of the river Sunday. How do you look at it going in?
You know, I'm really excited. I know they're a really good ball club, and we're going to have to bring our A game there, and we're going to have to really play together and come back and scrape and try to get a W out of that.
All right, Bryce Scott, our Coca-Cola player of the game. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, let's bring it back to Gary and John.
Thank you. Good job, and certainly a good job by Fran O'Hanlon and Bryce Scott and some others. And we've got our highlights, and that means we bring John Leone back to the microphone. Here's John.
Happy highlights, Gary. A great win at home for the Leopards. Burrell got it going in the second half there. He really started heating up. Look at this one downtown. By that time, the Lafayette Leopards had built up a lead, so it was really a big hole to dig out of. Dave Dudzinski steps out. They had a stretch, Gary, where they were 4 for 20 from downtown. Then they go inside to Dudzinski. They started getting hot later on. There's Phil Beans, and that kind of brought them back, Gary. At one point, they were down 7. So the big, strong Holy Cross Crusaders were living on the outside. Great move by Hamilton on the inside, doing a nice job getting to the rim. But I'll tell you, it was the overall guard play. Bryce Scott, Tony Johnson really teamed up well. Watch this fake behind the back pass. I mean, he had everybody's neck sprained on that play, and he knocks it down. Joey Tazinski, who came off the bench, is just another way for Lafayette to attack a team. But there's the pass that leads to the pass. Great back cut, inside out. Seth Hendricks knocks one down. Then he gets another one off the bounce from the top of the key. Boy, they ran the offense so well. Joey Tazinski, just too many shooters with Lafayette's offense. When they're clicking, there's our Coca-Cola player of the game, Bryce Scott, putting some icing on the cake. How about this one late in the game? Boy, Gary, Holy Cross's defense doesn't rotate over. Bryce Scott beats him to the rim. That is a pleasant surprise because we know those 3 sophomores, Hendricks, Trist, and Tazinski, were really coming into their own. We know that Tony Johnson is Tony Johnson. Levi Geese, another senior. But boy, to add that one element in the person of Bryce Scott is huge for this basketball team.
And the Leopards now 8-2 at home. They struggle on the road, 1-10. But boy, they have been successful on the road. They haven't lost the ball game. on television. As we take a look at the individual numbers for you, that's what John was talking about. Tony Johnson with 15, however, not 18, as you see up there. Seth Hendricks 16 and 16 with Bryce Scott. They led the Leopards in scoring. And, John, they kept Dazinski and Burrell under their averages and, in fact, kind of made them, for the most part, just not a real important part of the offense. They got their points, but not what they're used to getting.
It was a defensive struggle, Gary, and again, a defensive struggle you would think favors Holy Cross, but give Lafayette credit. When the game was in the balance, out of the halftime locker room, Lafayette went on an 8-0 run. They extended the lead to 12 and then as many as 15, and by that point, it was just too big a hill to overcome for the Cross.
And they did not overcome it. The 53 Holy Cross points that comes on 20 field goals. They had 9 3-pointers, 4 for 6 from the foul line. They fall to 10 and 9, and they too now are 2 and 2 in the Patriot League. For Lafayette, their 63 points came on 22 field goals. They were 9 for 27 from beyond the arc. They were a very solid 10 out of 11 from the foul line. They go to 9 and 12. More importantly, they now go to 2 and 2 also in the Patriot League. So it is Bucknell at 3 and 1 now, Lehigh at 4 and 0, and Lafayette and Holy Cross sitting at 2 and 2. Lafayette will take on Lehigh Sunday at noon on CBS Sports Network. We'll be back with the women, who, by the way, lost their ball game tonight, I believe, by 6 in a tough battle up at Holy Cross. We'll have them against Lehigh on Saturday at 2 o'clock. That's it. Final score, Leopards 63, Holy Cross 53. Thanks to Dan Mounty, John Leone, Rick Dio, the RCN television team, and to all of you sitting in a nice, cozy, warm house on a cold, cold night. I'm Gary Laubach. Good night, everybody.